Hello viewers, welcome back to the Voice Show, where we always share different stories. Today, and before we continue, please remember I am your host. My name is VIDELIZ here at the Voice Show, and we always air it on Friday at exactly 8 p.m. and we have a repeat every Sunday also at 8 p.m. Now, you can also find us on social media platforms. We have Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And the name is Science TV Kenya. Also, do not forget that whenever you would want to contact us for an interview, maybe you can send us a direct message via Facebook, and you'll find my name there, VIDELIZ NJOKI. And there you can send a message and we can share more information about an interview. Now, we are here with our guests. Would you please introduce yourself?
Thank you so much. My name is Sylvester NYAKIO, and this is my sign name. And I'm a deaf teacher, a professional deaf teacher.
Now you've seen it all. He is a teacher, a deaf teacher. But before we get there, I want to know, growing up, did you grow as a deaf person? Were you born deaf or you were born hearing?
That is easy. Thank you for that question. When I was born, I was hearing. While I grew up at the age of 9 years, I really don't know what happened, but my parents explained to me. We were staying in Kisumu, that is my village, and one day we came to Nairobi so that I could be treated, and I stayed at my my auntie's place because she was a nurse. So when I went to the hospital, I didn't know what I was coming to do in the hospital in Nairobi, so they checked my ears. So that's when I got to understand that my ears have a problem. So I came back again and they repeated the same procedure. So they gave me hearing aids, which were for both ears. So I used to travel Nairobi, Kisumu every time for medication. That was 2006. So most of that year, I traveled to and from Nairobi for my ear treatment, where now they gave me one hearing aid because the second one was stolen. So I had to accept the situation because previously I had not accepted, and most of the time when I went out to play with my fellow kids, I could take off my hearing aid and hide it in the pocket. So first I had to accept the situation, and I didn't want to go to school because I was learning in a hearing school. So they brought me back to Nairobi, and Dr. Sarah, we had a discussion with her and she chose a school for me. So when my father saw the school fees, it was 40,000. He said no. Because he wanted me to learn in Nyangoma. So, but the doctor said Dr. Sarah said I should stay for 3 months in Nairobi so that I could be going for my checkups. So I stayed with my auntie who is a nurse. So most of the time, my cousin used to take me to school and bring me, and also at the same time to the hospital. But I really love this cousin of mine.
So that was your aunt, your cousin?
Yeah, that was my cousin. So he could take me to the hospital, take me to school, call my parents. I communicate with my parents. But my cousin was funny. So they took me to school and they asked me if I was comfortable. And they asked me if I was comfortable to go to a boarding school. But for me, I wanted a day school. So that was the first time I saw a deaf signing. But now I told my parents I don't want to go back home. I want to stay in that school. So they asked me if I was serious and I wanted to stay. And I said, of course, yes, I want to stay. So I accepted.
So now, when you saw people signing, you were not able to cope up with it.
So yeah, I felt so
So
good.
you hid your hearing aid?
Yeah, I hid my hearing aid because so most of the time the kids, the deaf children, when they saw me with hearing aid, some used to take them off, and others sometimes they break them. And they used to really bother and disturb me because they really wanted me to take off my hearing aid. So, and for, for the deaf children, most of them really love fighting.
I agree.
So when I was in the school with the hearing school, I used to understand when it comes to writing. But I didn't, most of the time I wasn't doing my homework. So when I go to school, I've not done my homework. Because in this situation, I wasn't understanding what the teachers were teaching.
No, you kept repeating.
Yeah, I kept repeating. Because they didn't understand that I was hearing, but right now I've lost my the ability to hear. I'm deaf. So I used to repeat the same class in Kisumu. So there was a friend of mine who helped me. Most of the time when they teach, he writes something for me so that it could help me to understand what the teacher was saying. So we used to communicate in that way until I grew up. There was another friend of mine called Alex. He also felt sorry for me. And he thought that I just hated homework. So most of the time he could check and ask me if I've done my work, and also take my books and see if I've done my assignment. So that's when I stopped lip reading and talking, and I decided now to focus on signing, just like the other deaf. And that's how I became a teacher.
Okay, wait a minute. In case you've missed this one, I don't know how to say it or to paraphrase this story. Sometimes you see people do not understand you. Maybe they say you were born in a wealthy family, and you being in Kisumu, and maybe they say that's a heavy culture, but all along you didn't continue with your education. There were ups and downs, and sometimes you were not even comfortable. Some people around you were not comfortable with the hearing aid, which you had to go and hide in your pocket. And the moment you introduce yourself and you feel like you don't want to continue with the school, and you feel like you don't have the confidence, what happened?
Okay. The first one, When I was in school, first I learned to forgive the teachers, and right now they're proud of me, and I forgave them, because they never knew about special needs training. The only thing they used to say is that huyu hasikii, and others could hit me on the head where my ears started oozing with pus. But that aside, I forgave them. Right now, when I meet them, I buy them sodas, we interact. And when I went to the deaf school, I used to learn. I was a fast learner, and also most of the time the teachers could help me. And there was a teacher by the name Thomas. One day he called me, and he was side teaching me, and that time I was in Kuja School for the Deaf.
That is how about the passion for comedy? Okay, wait. The passion for teaching started way long time ago, and even with him being deaf, he got a lot of support, and the passion continued to grow. So, as you can see, he is a teacher. Now, after you moved to a deaf school, and then you finished primary school, and then you went to high school, or?
Yeah, Kuja. In primary, I didn't go to deaf school, only in high school.
So meaning from primary, you were in a hearing school, right?
Yes.
And when you finished, that is when you went to high school.
Yeah.
And which was a deaf school, right?
Yes.
Now, you felt very motivated in high school. And how was your journey now in college and maybe university?
My education life is just funny.
Okay, tell us.
When I finished my KCSE, my father said that you can't stay at home. So I went to Karen Institute for the Deaf. So when I before reporting, I decided to join IT, and I was with Elvis, Information Technology, and Elvis. We were with Elvis in the same class. So I continued with learning IT. Then there is a teacher, one of my teachers, lecturers. She asked me, she goes by the name Laura. She asked me to join teaching. And she really helped me, because I was a fast learner. I used to help other students. So Laura told me to go start teaching. I got trained in teaching. So when I finished the IT course, I passed, and I applied to join KISE, but it didn't go through. So I went to do P1. I accepted, and I was very much patient. And I went to Machakos Teaching College, where I was sponsored by GID. I did P1 for 2 years, and I also participated in sports as I continued with my training. So when I was in Machakos, I started. I joined. I said I joined sports, and we went till to the national level.
Congratulations.
Right now, I don't know the people who are there because they are young, because I finished. So when I finished college, that is P1, I came back to Nairobi. And I joined the Coder Association, where I was teaching children who have deaf parents. After that, I went back to Kisumu to teach sign language. Then the economy wasn't that stable. You understand?
I understand. You can now see the increments in taxes.
So I sat down, contemplated on what I could do.
So now this is a lot of information, people.
So in August, so I traveled for 2 years, but I was transferred to Donholm. I transferred to a school, and as I was working there, I had not stayed for a long period of time. Then I was shown that my doctor showed me an advert. Then he asked me if I wanted to apply because it was an international organization. So when I applied the first time, it was cancelled. So I repeated. Then it was cancelled again. I had to repeat. It refused the third time, but I repeated the process, and finally they called me for the interview. I was the only deaf, and there was a sign language interpreter. So I asked if there was a sign language interpreter. So they asked me when I wanted the interview, and I told them if they are ready with the sign language interpreter, they should contact me. So they called me for an interview. That was in December. I finished the interview, and I waited for, we were around 5 people, and I was the only deaf person. And also there was a visually impaired person. So the interview went on well, and later I got an email that I had passed. I got, was it 40%?
Congratulations.
I was happy because now I was coming to Nairobi. Yeah. So I worked for 5 years. Then the contract with UN came to an end.
Where was this?
I was the special needs educator.
Okay.
In special needs officer. Sorry, I was in a special needs office department. So when the contract came to an end, I went back home. So at home, I also was thinking on what to do because life in Kisumu wasn't easy. So I got another organization, LWF. They called me for an interview, still on special needs education. That was in 2021. So it varied because they called for the interview. Then I decided to apply for another interview in DC. It was in Kisii. But I was skeptical. For me, I really wanted to come back and work in Nairobi. So deep down in my heart, I really knew I wanted to come and work in Nairobi. Why should I lie? So I came back, then I went back to Kisumu. I went back to my home, my village. So they insisted that I should go in Migori, and Migori was very far. I can't be going to Migori and coming back to Kisumu in my village. So they asked me, where is your home county? I told them Kisumu. So they told me maybe they can post me in Siaya because it's near Kisumu. Because, for me, I'm the firstborn in our family. So I decided to teach in Siaya. a school for the deaf.
Now let us have a short break and we shall be back soon.